Now on 767 News. Police investigate death at St. Joseph Beach. DAEC in battle of words on issue concerning Jamaican artist Alkaline. And Cuban ambassador to Dominica says the countries have a long way to go for successful bilateral relations. In sports, Element Agency's LA Stars alleges Randolph Peltier illegally traded. Welcome to 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. When we return, we'll bring you the latest stories and developments happening across the island.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Welcome back. In tonight's newscast, a male individual was fished out of the sea at a beach in St. Joseph earlier today. The man has been identified as Justin Joseph, better known as Booga, from St. Joseph, who allegedly left his home at around 5 a.m. this morning to take a sea bath and never returned. 767 News will give an update as soon as it becomes available. And in other stories, Vice President of the Dominica Association of Evangelical Churches, DAEC, Allington Wilson, says a statement made by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit advising pastors to pray more is somewhat disrespectful. The statement comes on the heels of the ongoing controversy surrounding an upcoming concert featuring Jamaican dancehall artist Erlene Bartley, better known as Alkaline. During a recent radio interview, the Prime Minister called on pastors in Dominica to pray more, preach more, and familiarize themselves with the treaties that govern CARICOM.
In fact, when he made the statement, I laughed because I said, wow, he seems like he had just graduated his status. He is a politician and now he wants to be priest. So I just laughed at the comment. We know who to pray to and we know what to pray for. And I'm glad that he recognized the power of prayer in the nation.
The Dominica Association of Evangelical Churches is strongly opposing Alkaline's performance and has voiced its concerns. However, Prime Minister Skerrit said unless the artist poses a security threat, the government cannot prevent him from entering and performing in Dominica.
As far as I am concerned, we don't have a problem with the individual. We have a problem with his lyrical content. And the mere fact that he was banned from St. Kitts, he was also stoned and bottled out from the stage in Suriname, dragged out of the stage of Trinidad. It tells me that something is definitely wrong about his lyrical content. But as far as the person is concerned, we have nothing against him.
Pastor Wilson says the DAEC is advising the public to boycott the show, citing that the artist's lyrical content incites hate among young people. He said this has been an issue in Dominica in recent times, as young people have been gravitating towards such music.
We are not trying to say that nobody should come to Dominica because we are used to people coming to Dominica to display their talents. I heard the Prime Minister making mention of, based on what we say, it can appear that we are targeting Jamaican. This isn't true because we have had a number of Jamaicans coming to our show to display their talents. We have, over the years, addressed a number of social, moral, and spiritual issues in the land. And for example, pornographic materials, burglary, violence, domestic violence, and child abuse and so forth. And some people didn't take heed, and therefore we are seeing the repercussions. We as spiritual custodians of the land, we are directed by God to ensure that we propagate the gospel in such a way that people will take heed. Because the Bible tells us that righteousness will exalt a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people.
Pastor Wilson said that DAEC advising the public to boycott the Alkaline show is a God-given mandate, given the evil that can proceed from these activities. He explained his reasoning for such a statement, citing that God instructed Ezekiel to go to the people, although in the first instance they will not respond to you. Nonetheless, I want you to go, and if you have gone and they refuse to hear you, their blood will be on their shoulders. However, if you do not go and talk to them, their blood will be on your shoulders. End quote. Alkaline is expected to be the main act for a concert to be held on May 2nd, 2015.
Get on you to have a dream. Just go and work, the money soon come in. And no make nobody tell you nothing. Tell them say whatever them no want you come out to nothing. Do not afraid to be yourself. Just live for you and nobody else.
And Cuban ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Juan Carlos Formentera de la Rosa, has said that U.S. President Barack Obama's recommendation to remove Cuba from the country's list of state sponsors of terrorism is a move in the right direction. Speaking with 767 News on Thursday, De La Rosa said this type of forward movement is needed to normalize relations between the two countries. But even after President Obama removed some restrictions on Cuban nationals in January of 2015, the ambassador has said that the success of bilateral relations between Cuba and the United States is far from reality.
The decision that Obama took yesterday, so is going in the correct way to create the environment to normalize or at least to reestablish the diplomatic relation. But it doesn't mean that everything is right, you know, because the embargo is still pending. So we are suffering the embargo. Even when in January, the Obama took some executive decisions, like American bank can open bank account in Cuba, or maybe the American citizens can spend more money, I mean US dollar in Cuba. So there is something that Cuban bank cannot open bank account in US, and also we cannot use US dollar.
The Cuban ambassador said this decision taken by the U.S. president will strengthen relations between the two countries and allow for the establishment of Cuban and U.S. embassies in both Washington, USA and Havana, Cuba. De La Rosa said he is aware that it would not be easy to unite the two nations after 55 years of bilateral confrontation.
You cannot delete these 55 years of this hard confrontation in 1 month or even in 1 year. So it will take some time, step by step. And we know very well that it would be a very difficult process. But step by step, we will improve this bilateral relation.
In the meantime, Ambassador De La Rosa said the government of Cuba and the United States government should do as much as possible in President Obama's last 2 years in office. He added that Cuba has a lot to offer to the United States as it relates to socio-economic challenges.
Even when we are a poor country, we have many things that we can offer to the Americans. So we have a very good health service. American citizens can go to Cuba and to use our medical service. We can change result in a scientific research. We can change sports. To send Cuban team, Cuban sport team to US and vice versa. They can buy Cuban cigars, Cuban rums. They can, the American citizens can go to Cuba and to visit our cities, our beaches. To make tourism. So I think that we are very close, and we can exchange many things.
In December 2014, President Obama announced his intent to normalize relations with Cuba, insisting that a new approach of engagement was needed to ease tensions between Washington and Havana. In a brief message to notify Congress of his recommendation on Tuesday, April 14th, Obama explained his action was based on specific criteria that warranted Cuba's removal from the list. Currently, there are about 2 million Cuban nationals living in America. And in other stories, the Tetmon Housing Sanitation Program will receive a boost after Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance Roosevelt Skerrit contributed a check of $100,000 to the Village Council during its 14th inaugural Village Council meeting on Wednesday. Prime Minister Skerrit said the government of Dominica would like to ensure that within a 3-year term, all pit latrines in that community are eradicated.
Within your 3-year term, with your PAL rep, I would like to ensure that we eradicate pit latrines in Tetmon. So my respectful view is that we should focus on the eradication of pit latrines in Tetmon. And I'm giving you a first check to start the process. And that check is an amount of $100,000 to start the process.
The finance minister told the villagers that the strategic use of the funds will be left up to the parliamentary representative and village council members. Prime Minister Skerrit went on to encourage the villagers to remain steadfast, committed, and to think positively of Dominica and themselves.
You have a lot of people who come to these communities in the country and all they're concerned about is negativism, criticism. But ask them, what have you done for Dominica lately? What have you done for your community lately? You know, it is easy to criticize, very easy to criticize. But when you're to put your shoulder to the wheel, then when you look back, you don't see those people who are criticizing. But that notwithstanding, those of us who love this country dearly must continue to persevere and to ride over the challenges which come before us.
The Prime Minister said as head of government, he too is doing all in his power to ensure the development of his people and country. However, he reminded everyone that he cannot do it alone and is expecting the support and solidarity of all Dominicans. Up next, Tetmon village councillors encouraged to unite communities if they want to witness development, and the Dominica State College displays project at the National Science Fair. More details when 767 News returns.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Thanks for staying with us. 8 council members who were sworn in to the Tetmon Village Council were urged to take the work of the local government seriously and to carry out their duties with distinction during the council's 14th inaugural meeting on Wednesday, April 15th. Catherine Fontaine, South District Development Officer, told the councillors that this task requires a lot of sacrifice, commitment, and acts of volunteerism and dedication on their part. She warned, however, that internal division among councillors could impede the development of the community.
You have to confront the many social and economic problems that communities face with. The council must integrate and work with key stakeholders and institutions to get this done. I know it is not easy, but with desire, dedication, and discipline, you can combat some of the challenges as you forge ahead to complete the work for the development of your community.
Fontaine also called on villagers to support the council.
Residents, the strength of the council lies in the support you give to them. Pay your house rates, participate in planned programs, projects and fundraising activities geared towards the development of your community and your country by extension. In a nutshell, each and every villager should embark on a journey of service to your community.
Meanwhile, Jemuel John Lewis was elected chairman of the Tedmont Village Council. He is the youngest elected chairman in the history of the local village council. Outgoing chairman Barnabas Abraham had some advice for the new chair and the many young faces on the present council, reminding them of the many challenges that they will no doubt encounter.
It is a pleasure and an honor to see so many young people giving themselves a service to their community. I wish to really thank you all, and I'm glad that so many people. I wish that long ago we had all these youth and all these youth energies for the councils. You are now new leaders in the communities. You're going to be considered as the community leaders right now. And you are expected to act as such. But you have a number of problems, of challenges that you have to encounter, that you have to deal with.
Abraham stressed that the only way the council would succeed in its term is by uniting the communities to deal effectively with the socio-economic and infrastructural challenges within it. The full team of councillors include Chairman Jemuel John Lewis, Raymond Laura, Sylvester Thomas, Philip Benoit, Nikel and Carlin Thomas, Ronaldson Bellet, and Rosemary Liverpool. And in other stories, the Science Department at the Dominica State College held its first annual Science Week under the theme Science, Vast Opportunities. The students were given the opportunity to do scientific research and develop a project based on their findings, which was displayed at the State College during an open house earlier today. In an interview with 767 News, biology lecturer at the Dominica State College, Dr. Hamantia Eugene, said the students created these projects based on the level of science they study.
And today we are allowing the students basically to showcase their creativity and their science ability. So we have science projects from biology, biochemistry, physics, and our students are first years and second years, and depending on the degree of science that they're doing, we have various projects from the physics science mall to the structure of DNA to making of wine to examining different topics in biology, such as we have students who have the quality of tap water. We have another student doing some work on the psychiatric ward. So all of these were thought of by the students, came up by the students, and they are here today hoping and willing to impress our judges and impress the people coming forward to see them.
Eugene said this science fair is focused on giving the students a forum to express their creativity and scientific ability.
Well, the whole Science Week objective is to show our students that science is applicable. So a theme of Science Week is Science, Vast Opportunity. So we show them the different careers, and we wanted them to see that even at this level, they could bring something forth with the knowledge that they already have. So we're hoping that this will show them that they have the initiative and they can do a lot with the science that we have started here at the foundation at DSC. Well, of course, our students were very, very enthusiastic about the entire thing, especially about today, because today they really showed what they have learned and what they are capable of doing.
The science fair was held at the Dominica State College from Monday, April 13th and will end on Friday, April 17th with an award ceremony. And students studying mass communication at the level associate degrees at the Dominica State College got an up-close look at news production at Digicel Play's 767 newsroom on Thursday. The students are currently completing their broadcast news writing course and needed this opportunity to gain practical exposure to the process. The students were introduced to the general operations of a newsroom, including writing news scripts and other news preparation practices. And that's it for local news. Coming up next is Larry with the latest in sports.
I
love family traditions, don't you? The fun you have when you're all together, preparing a meal that you'll all enjoy. Having the right kitchen appliances help bring it all together, and you can find them at Quartz. Appliances that give you more, fridges that keep food fresher, stoves that cook meals better. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. For small and large kitchen appliances, Quartz, bringing value home.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with basketball. In their first game played for the season on Wednesday evening, the Detroit Blazers defeated EHL's Crossover by 24 points. Blazers controlled the game and jumped out to an early 28-12 lead at the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first half, scores were 45-26, Blazers leading by 19. In the early minutes of the fourth quarter, Crossover brought down the lead to 12 points. However, Blazers finished the game strong, extending the lead to 24 at the final buzzer. Final scores were Detroit Blazers 86, EHL's Crossover 62. Top performers for Blazers were Thomas Felix 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists and 8 steals. Lester Langley recorded a double-double with 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists and 6 steals. And Javid Joseph also recorded a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. Top performers for Crossover were Lindell Mayers, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals and 2 assists, Emil Cardo, 18 points and 8 rebounds, and Mikre Edwards, 18 points, 3 rebounds and 4 steals. In football, national footballer Randolph Peltier is at the center of controversy following reports of an alleged illegal trade from his former football club. In an interview with manager of the Element Agency's LA Stars Football Club, Dirk Seja on Wednesday said Peltier did not receive the minimum 2 signatures from the executive of the Exodus Football Club to validate his trade to Petro Caribe Point Michel football team.
Well, the problem is on the April 11th, we had a match against Petro Caribe Point Michel, and Mr. Randolph Peltier was part of that game and had active role in the 2 goals that were scored, only to find out after the game that he was not eligible to play. So we therefore write a letter to the president informing him that that was the knowledge we had. And in his response over the phone, he called me and he told me that Mr. Peltier was released from the Exodus Football Club, only to find out that it was done illegally and that we are seeking an immediate investigation in the matter.
Cesar said the former coach of the Exodus Football Club, Karen Charles, was not eligible to sign the release form as he is not an executive member of that club.
Well, Mr. Etienne is out of state, so I don't know what he's going to do to deal with the matter. And if he doesn't take any action, we intend to go further. How far do you intend to go with this? Well, as we stated in the letter, we would go as far as to write to CONCACAF, who is the regional body in charge of the FA.
Cesar said Peltier's inclusion in a semi-final match against Petro Caribe Point Michel football team, which they lost, was an unfair advantage. The Element Agency's LA Stars Football Club manager said the team would not have any grievance had Point Michel defeated them without Peltier.
Players are very upset. They do not want to take part in the Division 1 competition next year. But as a manager, I'm just trying to cheer them up and tell them that we have to continue, and let's just hope that Mr. Etienne and his committee would do something urgent about it.
Meanwhile, former coach of the Exodus Football Club, Karen Charles, said he was unaware that he was not eligible to sign Peltier's release form.
We had about 5 or 6 players, I think, who wanted to be released from the team. And I think I signed a couple of the release forms on the last day, which was after the Harlem game, they were supposed to be released from, and I signed on the coach on the release form so that they could have their release to play for their clubs they want to play. I didn't know that the exact has a clause in the constitution saying that the coach couldn't sign, which I don't believe that it's there. And I was invited to the executive. I was placed on the management chat group. I was in the meeting, so I didn't see it as a problem. I didn't get anybody back to sign any release forms.
Charles said he is sorry for any inconvenience caused as a result of this situation. A source close to the Exodus Football Club confirmed that Charles is not an executive member and was in fact not eligible to sign any player release forms. President of the Dominica Football Association, Glenn Etienne, is currently out of state. However, when contacted, Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald Judge, denied commenting on the matter. In more sports, the final team to qualify for the semi-finals of the National Bank of Dominica Primary School Girls Football Competition will be determined when the Savon Pike Primary School goes up against the W.S. Stevens Primary School at the Benjamins Park in Portsmouth from 11 a.m. on Friday. And in more football, in keeping with CONCACAF and FIFA regulations in reference to the club licensing structure system, the Dominica Football Association inviting 2 representatives of each football club to attend an important meeting on Saturday, 18th April from 10 a.m. at the Football House in Bath Estate. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald Judge, has more details.
The meeting will discuss the club licensing system, which is to be implemented at the start of the 2015-2016 season. This meeting is of utmost importance as it is mandatory that the system be implemented in August. Under this system, the clubs have certain responsibilities that must be met, as well as the DFA. This is an ideal opportunity to ask questions and to clarify concerns. Please ensure that your club or team is represented at this very important meeting.
Meanwhile, the finals of the DFA Division 1 League will take place on Saturday at the Benjamins Park in Portsmouth from 3 p.m.
The finals will be contested between Petro Caribe Point Michelle and Steinman All-Stars. Point Michelle will be seeking a return to the Premier League, while Steinman All-Stars will be looking to be promoted to the top league for the very first time. In the semi-finals played last weekend, Steinman went past Cupchis Barbershop Bath Estate 3-1, while Point Michelle edged out Element against the Stars 2-1.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. When we return, a recap of tonight's headlines.
Join in, have some fun, enjoy yourself. Come on.
It's my time, it's your time, it's our time. Another exciting local show comes to your screen on Digital Play TV Channel 3. When? Every Thursday from 9 p.m. Join host JL Joseph with stimulating chit-chat about what's up, what's on, music, entertainment, arts and craft, and much more. We'll talk business, leisure, holidays, and family, all to engage our viewers on various aspects of life. Join us for Our Time, where we talk about absolutely everything, right here on Digital Play TV.
Welcome back. And now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Police investigate death at St. Joseph Beach. DAEC in battle of words on issue concerning Jamaican artist Alkaline, and Cuban ambassador to Dominica says the countries have a long way to go for successful bilateral relations. In sports, Element Agency's LA Stars alleges Randolph Peltier illegally traded. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening and thanks for watching.